It's a sunny afternoon on the weekend, and you find yourself strolling through the woods surrounding the UA campus grounds. You had nothing else to do today, since you had finished all your assigned homework, and your classmates had other plans. Your mind is still reeling from what happened yesterday during hero training as you walk, now that you had some time to think. Isobelle had put you against Shoto Todoroki in a mock battle. You were beyond terrified at the prospect of fighting him, not only because he's one of the strongest members of Class 1A, but also because of the conflicting crush you have on the icy hot cork user, and your resolve to get over your said crush. Now that you're in the hero track, there's no time for that kind of stuff. Or at least, that's what you try to tell yourself. But despite your terror, you didn't want to be a pushover. That's why you fought with everything you had at an all-in-end quark-clashing extravaganza. Inevitably, you did lose to him, which, of course, didn't surprise you. But it took his flash freeze heat wave to take you down, so that's gotta count for something, right? Lost in the natural beauty of the flora and fauna surrounding you, and your own thoughts, you soon find yourself disoriented. Looking around, you're unable to pinpoint where you could be or which way you came from. You laugh dryly at the realization that you are, indeed, lost. But you're only mildly panicked by your predicament, or amused that you let your wanderlust and sense of adventure get the better of you. Again. As you contemplate what to do next, you hear the sound of footsteps approaching you. Your instincts soon kick in, putting yourself in a fighting stance, ready to defend yourself against the potential looming threat approaching you. "Who's there?" You call out, trying to sound intimidating, though eternally, your nerves are on overdrive. Your tense stand soon deflates when, from behind a large tree, you see a familiar laid-back face and mop of black hair. "Oh, Sero!" You let out a huge sigh of relief. "It's you." Sero chuckles.
Of course it's me. Who else can make the newbie who impressively held their own against Todoroki yesterday pale in fear?
"Hey! I wasn't paling in fear," you defend. And anyway, anyone would be at least a little afraid if they heard someone approaching them while they were lost.
"Oh? You're lost?"
Sero asks, a little surprised. "Yeah," you reply sheepishly. "I was exploring, and the next thing I knew, I found myself lost here." Sero bites back a snicker.
You know, for someone who is very focused in class, you can get pretty swept up by the most mundane things.
You giggle at the light-hearted jab, knowing very well it's 100% true. Well, I can't argue against that, now can I?
Nope. So, are you in any rush to get out of here?
He asks, and you catch the unsureness in his voice. Not really. It's still pretty early, and it's not like I got anything else to do. You can see Sero's expression lift at your reply.
In that case, come, join me on my walk.
He offers cheerfully. "You want me to walk with you?" you ask hesitantly.
That's what I asked after all.
Sero replies with a bit of disbelief.
And I do know the layout of these woods pretty well, so I'll be able to lead us out of here any time.
You ponder on Sero's offer. It's not like you had anything else planned today, and if you were to decline, you would have to find your way out on your own. Why do that when someone, Sero, already knew which way to go? Also, Sero's intentions didn't seem to carry any malice, just a friendly offer of assistance and company on a nice day. "All right then, I'll join you." You can see a smile dawn on his face at your reply.
Great.
He exclaims before turning to walk down the grassy path of the woods. You follow him, doing your best to match his pace since he's much taller than you.
I meant what I said earlier, by the way.
You question?
When you fought Todoroki yesterday, even though you lost, Your fight was amazing. Your combat skills were totally impressive.
Thanks, Sero. You reply, a little embarrassed by the sudden compliment. Though my defeat was, let's be real, inevitable. I mean, Todoroki came in second in the sports festival and you stop yourself, remembering Sero's freezing defeat against Todoroki in round 1 of the battles. This is not the time to be talking about Todoroki. For yours and Sero's sake, you internally scold yourself. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up. You frantically apologize when Sero cuts you off.
Don't worry about it. It was a pretty hard loss, but I learned a lot from that fight. And that's what's most important. Learning from our experiences is how we can become better heroes. And better heroes is what we want to be.
Oh, I see. You mumble, contemplating Sero's words.
So, I'm so studious but also spacey. Why did you decide to transfer to the hero course?
You giggle at the comment. Conversation flows naturally from one topic to the next, as you and Sero walk through the woods. He proves to be quite the conversationalist, as well as very pleasant company. You two soon find yourselves in front of a clearing. In the middle of it sits a small lake surrounded by water lilies. Taken in by the beauty of it all, you rush to the water's edge, pick a water lily and take a good whiff of it. Sero's smile grows wider at your delight as he approaches you.
Is it safe to say that you really like water lilies, since you can't seem to keep your nose out of them?
Sero teases. You chuckle at that. They do smell nice, but they're not my favorite. That award goes to orange roses.
Why orange roses specifically?
Well, you start rambling on about how your grandmother planted orange roses in her garden when you were younger, how they'd bloom at the beginning of summer every year, and how you associate orange roses with the beginning of the season.
Your grandmother?
Sero questions. Oh, right. My bad. I forgot only Ochako knows. And, sorry for rambling on so much and acting so familiar with you. I'll stop. You ramble out an apology. Out of all the members of Class 1A, you're the closest to Ochako, having been friends with her before you transferred.
Nothing to be sorry about. I think we passed that line earlier today. Besides, Uraraka can't be the only friend you have in Class 1A.
Sero teased. Well, I did befriend the members of the so-called Deku Squad, so Ochako isn't my only friend I have in class. You tease back.
Oh, I see.
But if you're asking me if we can be friends, then I'd be happy to, you reply cheerfully. Sero's expression lightens up at your acceptance. He's so cute. You internally muse before realizing what you had just said. That came out of left field, you say to yourself. You are trying to push down the heat that's rising up to your cheeks while attempting to stand up. Though you move too quickly, your foot slips on a loose rock, causing you to fall backward. Before either of you can react, you hit the water with a splash. Luckily for you, the water is pretty shallow, so you manage to push yourself up so that you're at least sitting instead of laying down in the water. You try your best to bite back the giggle that's threatening to escape your lips from seeing Sero's wide-eyed, shocked expression. It's quite the contrast from his usual laid-back deposition. After a bit of silence, a wide, excited grin dawns on your face before you push yourself onto your feet. Sero's shocked expression turns into a questioning one as he sees you take off your shoes and socks and places them on a nearby log.
What are you doing?
He asks, a bit concerned. Well, it's pretty hot out here, right?
Yes?
Taking a step back, you cup your hands under the water. May as well cool off! You exclaim and splash some water directly into Sero's face.
Hey!
Sero cries out, having stumbled back from the sudden water attack before wiping the water off his face.
That was uncalled for.
You let out a laugh at his reaction. What you don't see is Sero staring at you with awe and disbelief. In the 2 weeks since you transferred into Class 1A, Sero had caught on to your studious side in class, your determined side when you're doing your best to keep up with the class during practical exercises, your shy and awkward side when you first came into class and got spooked by Kaminari of all people. He's still unsure why, and your kind and generous side that always helped others, even when you got nothing in return. But he has never seen this side of you, this playfully adventurous and mischievous side that just attacked him with water, the side that's ready to engage in an all-out water war at a moment's notice. A big smile dawns on his face as a warm feeling wells up inside him. Though he can't seem to explain what this warm feeling is, there's one thing he knows for sure. He wants to see this side of you much more often. Spontaneously, he takes off his shoes and socks, places them on the same log, and rolls up his pants. You run further into the shallow lake when you see Sero charging into the water, hell-bent on getting his revenge. A surprised squeak escapes your mouth when Sero manages to splash water on you.
That was for earlier.
Oh, really? You ask, with a mischievous tone in your voice, as you prepare to go on the offensive. Sero gives you a Cheshire grin before splashing more water on you.
Oh, now you've done it.
Sero splashes you again, and it's an all-out battle. Both of you laugh while you splash each other in this playfully frantic water war. Neither of you cares that both of you are getting progressively wetter with each water attack. There's no doubt in your mind that you are both having the time of your lives out here, in the water, under the summer sun. By the time exhaustion finally kicks in, after what feels like hours playing in the water, the two of you are soaked from head to toe. Luckily, the summer afternoon sun still shines brightly in the sky above, basking the area in its warmth. So the two of you spend the rest of the afternoon at the water's edge, letting the warm summer sun dry your wet clothes as you talk, joke, and laugh. Being with Sero felt so natural that you almost forgot that you only called each other friends earlier today. Time soon gets the better of the both of you, for the sun begins to disappear behind the horizon, giving the entire landscape a golden glow.
We should get going.
Sero comments, gets himself up, and holds out a hand to you.
I did promise to lead you out of here.
He adds, giving you his signature grin. Your heart skips a beat at seeing that grin. You then give him your hand before flashing him a cheeky smile of your own. Well, technically, you didn't promise, but you did say you would lead us out, so I'll be counting on you. Sero snorts before pulling you up onto your feet. He then gestures you forward.
After you.
You giggle at his gesture, but you kinda want to tease him a little more. I would, but you're the only one who knows how to get us out of here. He lets out a hearty laugh.
Well, aren't you a stickler for technicalities?
You only flash him another cheeky grin and raise your hands in surrender. Just as Sero promised, he leads the both of you out of the woods and back onto UA campus grounds. Though, throughout the entire walk, neither of you realize your hand is still in Sero's. Thanks for leading me out of the woods, Sero.
No problem. All in a day's work for an aspiring hero.
Sero says, flashing you a proud smile. You snicker at that.
And
Sero adds, his proud smile turning more sincere.
thanks for spending the afternoon with me. It was fun.
You're welcome. And thanks for inviting me. I had fun too, you say, giving him a bright, genuine smile. Sero doesn't reply. He's unable to. Your bright, genuine smile and your figure illuminated by the remaining golden rays of the sun behind you leave him stunned, only able to stare. Catching Sero staring, you can't help but feel self-conscious under his intense gaze, but unable to look away, so you try to figure out why he's staring so intently at you. Sero is certainly not blank-faced like Todoroki is the majority of the time, but his usual laid-back expression doesn't really gauge what he's thinking. Never mind what he's feeling. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. In fact, you can't help but find it cute and endearing. Unable to figure it out, your eyes trail downward only to go wide when you see your hand is in his. Has he been holding my hand this entire time? You scream in your head. Your face flushes from the predicament you find yourself in. More than a little embarrassed, you keep your head down, refusing to look up at him. Sero? You can let go of my hand now. You manage to spit out, still refusing to look up at him.
What?
Sero looks down.
Oh, right. My bad.
He stammers, letting go of your hand before looking away in embarrassment. You finally look up at him and can barely fight back the giggles threatening to spill at the side of his embarrassed face. He looks dangerously cute, all flustered, his blush reaching the tips of his ears. Not that you'd admit that out loud. We should get back to the dorms. Your words stammer. As much as your words ring true, they still sting. This whole afternoon, and everything about it was wonderful. So much so that you didn't want it to end just yet.
Right. We should.
Sero replies, mirroring your stammer. Relief washes through you. Maybe you weren't the only one who didn't want this to end. You know, maybe we could do this again. Hang out, I mean. We don't have to walk through the woods. Unless you want to. It doesn't matter to me. I just thought we should hang out more. Since we're friends now. And I'm rambling again. Feel free to stop me. Sero cuts off your nervous ramble fest with a laugh, his flush having died down enough that it's only a light, barely noticeable pink.
We can hang out again. I can't let you get lost in more woods. What kind of hero would I be if I let that happen?
You relax, not even caring about the playful jab he threw at you. Great! Let me know when you want to hang out.
Right. I'll see you later.
See you! You give him one more wave before running towards the 1A Heights Alliance building. Sero doesn't follow, however. He just watches you fondly. Your hair flows behind you as it glows under the last rays of the golden sunset.
Beautiful,
he says out loud. When you reach your dorm room, shutting the door when you enter, you lean your back against it before sliding down to the floor. On the floor, you clutch your hands over your racing heart, unable to fight off the huge, goofy grin that you know is on your face.